Have you got a 1-star feedback recently and you just don't know what to do? Then this video is for you. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today, I'm gonna just take the hair out of my mouth first. So today, we're gonna be talking about the dreaded 1-star feedback. Now, I don't know about you, but whenever you've got a 1-star feedback, your heart and your stomach just sink. You read it on your phone or on the computer and you're just like, no, what did I do wrong? This is going to affect my ODR score. Oh, now it's going to be visible on my profile. My business is ruined. That's it now. This is so unfair. I did nothing wrong. Take a breath. We're going to talk about what to do when you get a 1-star feedback. The first thing to do is take a breath. Make yourself a cup of tea. Get away from the screen, from looking at that ominous 1-star, and just take a breath, okay? It's okay. All companies get bad feedback, so you are not alone. And I will go into this further later on in the video, but I'm sure you've seen across Etsy groups and just across, you know, social media in general, I'm sure you've seen those screenshots from companies that have just obviously either their customer service is abysmal or they've had a really, really bad day. And I'm sure you've seen them, I have, where the person who is, you know, the customer, if you like, has left a 1-star feedback and they screenshotted the replies from companies and shared them all over social media. I have seen them, I'm sure you have as well. And if you're not careful, this could be you. If you fire off into defensive mode and just start effing and jeffing and, you know, you're not really sure what you're saying, but you're just getting all of your feelings out into the message and you're just not coming across very professional. Honestly, guys, don't do it. Take a breath, have a cup of tea, come away from the situation and try to calm down first. Just a side note, this does not mean that you should stand for really offensive behaviour. If your customer has left you 1-star feedback or a 2-star or whatever, you should not be allowed to take really offensive messagings, okay? So let's just say, for example, that you have got a message from your customer with swear words threatening you, saying that they want to keep the item and to have a refund, or they're going to leave you 1-star feedback and ruin your business and all that. Believe me, we've all had them. We've all had the crazies, okay? It's fine. But the last thing you want to do is to take that, because honestly, that can knock your confidence. That can knock your confidence so much. I would, if it was me, I would contact Etsy. If you really hand on heart feel like the customer is just being abusive, then you are quite within your rights to contact Etsy. And also you are quite within your rights to report the feedback, because I have had a good 5 to 6 negative feedbacks removed because either the customer said they haven't received them, and they have, or it's gone to the wrong address and that's not my fault, that's their fault, or they've been abusive, or they've put swear words in the review and just not been a very nice person. So just please don't excuse that. Please don't excuse abusive behaviour, because believe me, it's not acceptable. The next thing to do is to look at the order and the messages. I can't tell you the amount of times where I've typed up a message and then gone onto the order information or read back through the customer messages, only to find out that if I'd have sent that message, I would have looked like a right nana, because I haven't read through the order messages, the order information. I haven't like gained the facts before I've shot off a message to the customer. Sometimes there's information that we just don't see, and that's not fun to, you know, look like an idiot and fire off a message to the customer when you're clearly wrong. So just make sure that you get all the facts first. The next thing to do is to decide whose fault it was. Now, this isn't for anyone else's benefit apart from yours, okay? This isn't to excuse anyone's behaviour if it's been negative, but you need to decide whose fault it was. And if it was your fault, it's okay. We're human. We make mistakes. It's fine. We're not big multinational companies with quality check staff there every single minute of every single day. We're not Amazon. We're not eBay. We're not any of those things. So we are human and we make mistakes, but you need to decide who's at fault here. However, if it's not your fault and it's, for example, the shipping carrier's fault or something like that, you need to know and decipher what may have happened first before responding. So just another little note here is that don't ignore it. If you've come this far and you think, no, I'm just going to ignore it, like it's on there now, whatever, I'm over it, please don't ignore it. The worst thing you can do is leave a 1-star feedback on your profile and just leave it there. I have seen people say that you shouldn't respond to 1-star feedbacks. No, I don't agree with that whatsoever. If I go onto an Etsy shop and I see a 1-star feedback, that is like you being in court and one side saying you did this and then you just sat there saying nothing or no comment. You know what I mean? Like, people often just go, if they're sat there saying no comment, there's something not quite right there. So it kind of works the same way in the beautiful world of the Etsy feedback system, is that you can respond to feedback. Now, please, please, please don't respond to the feedback until you have tried to get the customer to change it, because once you've responded, the customer cannot change it. So this only applies to if you know hand on heart that the customer is not going to change it, or you've given it a couple of weeks for the customer to change it or for you to solve it. Normally I get about 80% of my negative feedbacks when I do get them, which is, to be honest, quite rarely. That I often get 80% of them changed back to a 5-star because I've contacted the customer immediately and solved it. But if there's no way of that happening, if the customer is just unhappy, you both just agree to disagree, then please do not leave it on your profile. And the same goes with, don't just ignore a 1-star feedback, contact the customer. But I must say, I have not ordered from Etsy shops before when I've seen either a 1-star feedback that's just not been responded to, or I've had a problem with a previous order that I've had and they just have ignored me. So the best thing to do here is to just open the lines of communication with the customer and try to both mutually resolve it. Okay, so the next thing is to message the customer. So far we have found out what the crux of the issue was. We know what went wrong and what more than likely happened with this particular customer experience. Now it's time to reach out to the customer. And before you have visions of big green monsters going and just like, do you know what I mean? Just biting your head off, honestly, it's okay, it's fine. Take a breath. They are humans and people too. The way I think about messaging the customer is that it's like meeting someone in the street who's obviously had a bad day. You're kind of there and you're thinking, okay, you know, I've got to be careful what I say here, because I could say some things that could make them go whoosh and some things could just make them calm down. Basically, you want to aim to say things that will diffuse the situation. And believe me, about 30% of those 80% that change their feedback in my shop, in my business, in my experience, literally immediately change them. Literally, I'm not even joking. I will usually message a customer to say, hey, thank you for your feedback. I did notice, however, it was this star or that star or 3-star, 4-star, whatever. And I'll say, I just wanted to know, was there anything wrong? Was there anything that I could change or improve? I'd really like to get your honest feedback, and I hope that we can help change that 1-star, 2-star, 3-star experience into a 5-star one. Please let me know, Steph. And that's literally what I say. And 30% will immediately come back and say, oh, I'm so sorry I pressed the wrong button, or I'm so sorry I was doing it on my phone, I'm so sorry this, or so sorry that, or, you know, sometimes they've even just said, look, I'm so sorry, I've had a really bad day, I will change it, it wasn't your fault at all, I think it was Royal Mail's fault, or I think it was my neighbour's fault for not dropping the parcel round, or... Honestly, guys, don't be afraid to message the customer, because literally there are some customers that just do it and then think, oh, I shouldn't have done that. And I've done that before, honestly, hand on heart. So the next thing is to craft your message, okay? So I'm just going to give you a very quick example of a really good message to fire off to a customer. So I'll just say hi, or I'll use their name or something like that. And I'll put something along the lines of, now I've just written it down, so I am going to be looking down at my phone because I've actually like literally copied a message that I've sent not too long ago and I've kind of changed it for you guys. But I'll say hi and I will thank the customer for their message and apologise for the inconvenience/issue, okay? So what I will then do is that I will then repeat the problem or the situation back to the customer to make sure that we are on the same page. And the reason I do this is because a lot of the time, sometimes there is a spelling mistake or a typo or an autocorrect issue that will make the issue seem one way but not another. I've had this a few times actually, where the customer has seemed like they've received the item but didn't like the item, but as it turned out they haven't received the item. And you sit there and you think, if I hadn't have repeated the situation back, I would have looked really, really weird saying, return the item when they haven't got the item. I hope that makes sense, but basically just make sure that you confirm with the customer the problem or the issue. Also, this kind of makes sure that you have actually got the details right. The next thing I'll do is that I will ask the customer for more details. So, for example, this could include images, order numbers, and addresses and screenshots and things like that. A lot of the time, there is more information that you need from the customer. And one big thing that I will say to you guys is unfortunately, there are some customers which can be sneaky, and about 25%, I would say, probably a quarter of the messages that I receive that say I've sent the wrong colour, I've engraved the wrong thing, the chain has snapped, the clasp has snapped, something like that. I sell jewellery, by the way, guys, if you didn't know, so this is why it's, kind of related to that, is that I will ask for an image and they will never get back to me. And honestly, if I was making a complaint about something that are genuinely broken, I would naturally send a picture with the first message, but a lot of times I don't get a picture, or the customer gets funny about sending a picture, and I just say it's just my shop policy. I have to see what may have happened so that I can further improve my services in the future. It may not always be, you may not always want to say, I want to see a picture to make sure you're not lying, because that's not great. But you basically just want to see a picture, just to make sure that everything, again, all the details and everything is confirmed. I don't want to say that all customers are like, I won't say that all customer complaints are like this, because they're not, and I'm all for giving the customer the benefit of the doubt. But just be aware that there are some customers out there that will try it on, basically. That's just all I'm going to say. Now, the next thing I'll do is I'll offer 2 to 3 solutions for the customer. Now, the thing is that when you get an item, let's say, let's put you in the customer's shoes. Let's say you receive an item and it's the wrong colour, okay? Let's say that you ordered blue and it came in pink, whatever it is, t-shirt, bath bomb, whatever. You immediately feel like the power has been taken away from you. You put your money into this website to order something that you saw on a web page. So the trust is being taken away here, because you're putting trust into this non-physical thing. After all, Etsy doesn't actually physically exist in a storefront. It's literally just a website. The customer hands in with their money, they get an item that's not right. They then feel like the power has been completely taken away from them. The reason why I offer 2 to 3 solutions is that it gives the customer the power back. So it makes sure that the customer has the ability to choose what solution they want. It makes them feel like they are in their driving seat rather than being told what to do, which is a great thing for diffusing an angry, annoyed customer. The next thing I'll do is that I will wrap up the message and I'll say something like, I'm always here and happy to help, and we will surely get this sorted out. It kind of reassures the customer that it's okay, I'm not going anywhere, I am here to help you. Unfortunately, this has to be done over email, message, whatever, but I am still here to serve you. So what I'll do now is that I'll give you a message that I would craft if someone has received an incorrect item that was your fault. Hi, thanks for the message and I apologise for the issue. So as I see it, you ordered a pink one and received a blue one. Is that correct? Would you mind sending a quick image to me so that I can see what may have happened? I would most appreciate it. After we receive this message, I have a couple of options for you. Number 1, I can resend the item completely free of charge. Number 2, I can refund the item for you. Number 3, if you are happy to keep the blue one, I can send a pink one with a 40% discount. I'm sure we can get this sorted out for you. I'm always here and happy to help. Kind regards, Steph. So that is just a very quick message as to what I would send if someone has received an item and it was, genuinely my own fault. The next thing to do is to be patient and follow up. I will usually wait a couple of days to send a follow-up email, because sometimes people don't check their Etsy messages every day, or they don't log into their Etsy account every day. And also a lot of the time is that the emails that you get sent when someone sends you a message on Etsy often goes to spam box, or if you're using Gmail, it'll go to like a promotions box or a clutter inbox or something like that. So just be patient. After a couple of days, send the customer a follow-up message. When they respond, just make sure that you respond in a professional, positive manner, and also follow through with what you've actually promised to do. The most important thing here is to be kind, firm, and professional. As we know, some customers will try to take advantage, but the biggest thing here is that that doesn't mean that they own you, and that is something that I have seen a lot of Etsy shop owners feel like. They feel like they literally own you, and that is just, it's so sad because honestly, you guys are business owners. It's just really important to understand that the customer doesn't own you just because they've bought a product. You have to give them respect, be professional, kind, and firm with them, but they do not own you, okay? So just make sure that you are aware of that. Also guys, if you haven't already got my 30 days to a kickback Etsy shop workbook below, please go and grab that now. It's an amazing 74-page workbook. Honestly, I made it for you. Go and get your free copy. Also as well, join our free Facebook community. I love the Facebook group so much. They're so positive, uplifting people, and honestly, you guys will get immense benefit from there. Subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it, or a thumbs down if you didn't enjoy it. Please be honest with me. I'd really like to know what your feedback is. Leave a comment. What was your worst customer feedback that you ever got? Let's get interesting. Let's have a discussion and see what one was the worst one that you ever got, and we'll all just respond and help each other out. I love you all, and I shall see you in the next video. Bye!